Hello everyone, welcome back to Agent of Gash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. Today's video is going to be quite a quick one, just talking a bit of the of a channel update over the next few weeks regarding the new Warscrolls that have came out for Death today, which I saw on Facebook. I'm not too sure if they are leaked or Games Workshop has published them, because I can't find the original source, but reading these Warscrolls, I've came to realise it has changed some of the units that are in the Death Ground Alliance quite a bit, and especially how they're going to be played in game. So regarding, I was going to do a Soulblight unit video next. After reading some of the Warscrolls, I realised it's going to be best to put that off for a little bit, maybe potentially until the battle tome comes out, just because I don't want to review units of armies and particularly go in depth for them, and then because I've already done the research for it, but if I go in depth for them and put a video on it, for the information just to be irrelevant in a matter of weeks, I think would just be not worthwhile, and I could do a better use of my time into making more videos in lore videos. I know it's nice to have unit discussions, but because it's not just Soulblight, it's probably every Death army is going to have a very big update in this battle tome. So if I will just stick to lore for the next couple of weeks, it's quite a safe option because the lore shouldn't change, but it is Age of Sigmar, so nothing is set in stone, of course. But it will be more relevant videos, and the information won't be incorrect in a matter of weeks. But I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on it, just so I don't want to make it feel like I'm just making this decision myself. I want to make it sound like it's a wise idea from everyone's point of view, because if I was to do, like I was saying, a in-depth unit review of, let's say, the Blood Knights, for example, they are fairly fundamentally the same, but their banner special ability now does not allow them to bring back a Blood Knight vampire into their unit every turn. So that was a big part of that unit, and now that is no longer in effect because the banner ability has changed. It's changed how that unit will play. It's the same with Death Rattle. Unfortunately, I have done a lot of Death Rattle videos, and they as an army has changed quite a bit too, because unfortunately the banners no longer bring back models, which is, for me, is really quite sad, as that's what I loved about the skeleton units. I loved just how durable they were, and that was their key thing. That was what made them unique. It's just how damn hard they can be to shift off an objective. They can be pretty good in combat and stuff, but because it's quite a slow unit, a lot of the time the enemy charges you, and then by the time they've attacked you, they've wiped out a lot of your combat effectiveness. Not all the time, but some of the time, especially in my store where I play against very fast armies, and they wipe out half your combat effectiveness, and you're, let's say, a block of 40 skeletons, say they kill 20, because that has happened many a times, and then your offensiveness is not so good. So what you're relying on is your durability to keep on regurgitating, bringing back those models. No, you cannot do that. It like I say, it saddens me. It makes me feel like that was their main use, and now they don't have that anymore. So you have to use them for what they are. So they're cheaping points for how many numbers there are, and they're competent fighters. I mean, they're no way are elite unless we're talking about Graveguard, because they've been affected by the banner change as well, and so have the Black Knights. But like Skeleton Warriors, they can go toe to toe with most basic infantry out there. But with the banner change, they are a lot less grindy in a fight, especially how to compensate for their not bringing back the models through the banner. Their save is still a 6-up standard, so yeah, I used to call them my favourite battle line unit in the game. Now they are not. I don't know what is now, but I think sadly it's safe to say it's not Skeleton Warriors. But I might do a talk about the update, but I'll cover it quickly here. There have been some other changes, some good changes. It's good to point out. There have been some positive ones. One of them is, I think, called the Incantation of Death, something like that. It's a ability which every hero has, as far as I'm aware, where they have a chance to bring back death models to a unit. However, the unit has to be you have to be able to summon it. Now, so that is your skeletons, Graveguard, Black Knights, etc. So you can bring the models back, you know. That's not completely gone. So I don't want you to think that, I can't bring back my models anymore, my skeleton units. You can still do that. But it's just changed. And you probably won't be bringing as many back because of it. What else did we see? We also saw a couple of new Warscrolls or adaptations. For example, the Covenant Throne is now called, I can't remember it. It's something Blood, but it basically sounds like, rules-wise and narrative-wise, a mixture between the Covenant Throne, obviously, and the Mortis engine. So that will probably be a alternative build, like what we saw when Flesh Eater Courts came out and you could build Crypt Flares, which was a combination between the Vargeist from Soul Blight and Crypt Horrors from Flesh Eater Courts. So there'll be some kit bashing options for new units, which it's not technically a new model, but it's a new Warscroll. I've got nothing against it. I think it's nice. I think it's good to have more unit variety out there. We did also get an adaptation, I believe, for the Zombie Dragon, Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon. Now, it's Warscroll is amazing. I'll just say that it just sounds really good. Let's hope it's a new maybe Zombie Dragon model with Vampire in it coming out, but I wouldn't give your hopes up. It sounds very much rules-wise. It will just be a alternative build for the current one because it's a named character. So I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe depending on what head you give the Vampire Lord on the Zombie Dragon depends on if he's the named character or not. I would also show you these unit Warscrolls, but unfortunately because I can only find them on Facebook, the quality isn't that good, so I do find it hard to read them, because when you zoom in to try and read what the rules say, it is quite blurry. So if I was to put it on YouTube and you were to read it on your computer or even your phone, it would be a bit too blurry to read. But with that aside, like I say, there are some good rules. There definitely are. There looks like there's going to be more changes in the units to make them a bit more usable in different armies, precisely. Like, for example, the update of the Covenant Throne does benefit Soul Blight units, so it's nice to see the synergies in the armies working there. There's also, we got the Warscroll for the Knight of Shrouds, is it? I believe it's called Knight of Shrouds, which of course is the new death model coming out for the, I'm going to try and say this right, the Malign Portents, I believe Malign is the word, and I believe that's not a word made up by GW. So we have got that. I'm just going to get it up now just so I can tell you guys about it if I can read it. Okay, so yes, the Knight of Shrouds. So he has a movement of 6, he's got 5 wounds, he's got a 4+ save, he's got bravery 10, so not bad, you know, he moves the same fast as a Spirit Host, because we knew this was going to be a Nighthaunt character, which indeed he is. So he moves 6 inches, 4+ save, standard for Nighthaunt, so that's nice, bravery 10, we come to expect that with Death, and 5 wounds, which makes him, apart from the Black Coach, which I'm not particularly a fan of, this guy has the most wounds for a hero in the Nighthaunt army, which is quite nice. That's the two Magis and the Calm Race only have 4. Now, this guy is probably going to be more expensive as we will look at his rules, but Nighthawk could do with a bit more expensive, a bit more beefier hero for the army. So, his melee weapons, we have one. It's the Sword of Stolen Hours. Sorry, I just found it hard to read. Range 1 inch, has 4 attacks, freeze the hit, freeze the wound, -1 rend, 2 damage. So, by itself, yeah, that's a nice attack. It's a little bit like the Calm Reef attack, very similar, but he gets 1 more attack. So, and it might be a better to hit characteristic. I can't remember if the Calm Reef is a 4 to hit or a 3 to hit. I think it's a. I want to say it's a 3 to hit for the Calm Reef, but he is only 60 points, so I don't know if he would be that good. But anyway, so it's like a better version of the Calm Reef's attack. His abilities, Ethereal. Now, the Ethereal rule has changed annoyingly. I'll read it out. I don't see why there was a need for it to change, but I'll read it out. So, the Ethereal rule now means that your save cannot be modified for good reasons or bad reasons. So, you're not taking the enemy's rend still, so that's still good. That's always good for Nighthawk. But you can't put Mystic Shield on your Nighthawk units now and get the benefit. Unless it's the Black Coach, of course, because that's not ethereal. So if you put Mystic Shield on this guy, it will still only be a 4-up save because it can't be modified. I felt like this was, like I say, a bit unnecessary because, yeah, it was good. You know, like people were making them all have a 2-up save and how durable, you know, that bastard is. I can understand from that point of view, but for things like Spirit Host, that, you know, they are pretty durable because they weren't taking rend, they have a 4-up save. But it was nice to make them a 3-up save if you had a big unit, or make your Tomb Banshees or your Calm Reefs a bit more survivable. But, you know, Nighthawk weren't winning tournaments, were they? I mean, they weren't stomping everyone into the ground like, you know, Zeech Skyfires. I mean, I don't think they even did particularly well in tournaments. I'm not saying they're a bad army. Like in my army video, you know, I said they're good points and stuff. They were, if you could play them well, they're probably a tier 2 army. You know, they could do well. They would be, you could, if you tried hard enough, to get in the top 20 of a big tournament with them. But they weren't, you know, game breaking. So I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a lot of armies aren't game breaking. So I don't know why they needed to do this, why they needed to turn down how good the ethereal rule is, because it was their thing. They're ghosts, you know, it's hard to hit them. So that's a bit of a shame. But anyway, so talking about the Knight of Shroud, so he's got the ethereal special rule, so he's still not taking rend, so that's nice. Okay, and then the next one, the Stolen Hours. So each time a wound inflicted by this model's sword of a Stolen Hours slays an enemy hero. Sorry, it's really hard to read. Heal 1 wound allocated to this model. So that's nice. So every time he kills a hero, he's going to be healing a wound, and he's got 5 wounds instead of 4 like most of the Nighthawk heroes. So he's got a chance of healing a couple of wounds. His damage output is capable of killing standard heroes, especially 5 wound heroes with not a very good save. So yeah, it's a nice ability. It makes you sort of aim this guy towards enemy heroes as well. He fits more into the army as he's got maybe a place for where his combat effectiveness should go. So yeah, that's a nice ability. And then his command abilities. Now this is nice because this is the first Nighthawk hero that is going to have a command ability rather than you just picking, probably a Hex Race was the best unit to do it, or making them Inspiring Presence so they wouldn't run away, which probably, you know, 4 out of 5 times wasn't necessary in the first place. So now that you've got a command ability that will be a lot more effective, it's nice. So it says, if this model is your general and uses this command ability, then the combat, it's really hard to read. Then in the combat phase, of that turn, add 1 to the hit rolls for friendly Night Haunt models while they are fully within 9 inches of him. So basically, I'll read that a little bit better. So if this guy's a general, which he should be because he's the only one with command ability, you get to add 1 for hit rolls to Night Haunt units that are wholly, so the whole unit has to be within 9 inches of him. Now, having the whole unit within 9 inches can be a bit of a pain, but 9 inches isn't too small. Sometimes it's a range of like 6 inches that gets really tricky. Your Nighthorn units aren't going to be, they're fairly big models, but they're not going to be huge unit sizes. So you should be able to achieve this with not too much difficulty. So that's the Knight of Shrouds. His keywords are Death, Malignant, Night Haunt, Hero, Knight of Shrouds. So he's a nice character, and of course we don't have points yet, and this goes for all the other Death units, the current ones as well. We don't have their points. Of course we have their points for what they're like now, but we don't have their points for what they're going to be like with this new update. Now, they might not change in points, but I think they need to just to reassess the sort of effectiveness of them now. Like Black Knights, for example, they can no longer bring back models via their banner, so they're not so good. Like, for example, when I talked about my Death Rattle video, I said use them to try and charge the enemy as quickly as you can, just to bog down all their units. Have a big unit of 10 Black Knights with your banners. You'll be regurgitating your units. They'll be coming back. Your enemy will be trying to deal with them or try to retreat or get around them just to attack the stuff they need to, instead of being blocked by this big Black Knight unit. Now the Black Knights aren't as durable anymore. It's certainly not as durable. So they're not the best use for that. So I really hope they come down from 120 points. Their attacks have got a bit better. Like, if you did watch my Death Rattle video, you will notice that I said they have 1 attack, which is for their lance, which is a 4 and a 4, no rend, 1 damage. But if they charge, it becomes a 4 and a 3, no rend, 2 damage. Now with the update, instead of only having 1 attack for that weapon, they now have 2 attacks. The horse characteristic has stayed the same for its attacks, but 2 attacks for the lance is nice because it was just almost a bit like a joke how the horse always ended up doing more damage than the actual guy on top. So the changes aren't completely bad, like I keep on saying, there are some good ones out there. So it's not like they've just taken all the elements of Death that made it mainly durable, that's the thing we're missing, and replaced it with nothing. They haven't just nerfed Death, they've given us some good abilities. Like I say, the Death Incarnate ability, which I will talk about when it sounds silly, but because the Warscrolls I'm trying to read off Facebook, I can't really zoom in, because if I zoom in, the writing just gets really blurry. So I'm trying to do the best to be able to read the Knight of Shrouds one I just did. So apologies if that wasn't read particularly well, but I just wanted to give you guys a unit. I just wanted to talk about a unit rather than just talking about the update. I wanted the video to be a bit more, have a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Have a bit more substance to it rather than just talking about the update and talking about, I don't like that the banner's changed, and instead of me just moaning about it. I wanted there to be a bit of a positive energy towards it as well. And I don't really want to moan about the update, it's probably just because I'm used to playing Death since Age of Sigmar came out, and I was one of those people going, Death really needs an update, really needs to change, all of this, and as soon as it gets a change, it sounds hypocritical that I'm saying, I don't like the change, it used to be better, but I think that will, my opinion will change as time goes on, as it's just trying to get used to it, and just playing the army differently, to be honest, and that's not a bad thing, Should be open to change for most of the things. I'm not talking about open to changes in Zeech, I'm just mean in general. So it just freshen up the army and give it a bit of appeal. And like I say, your banners aren't working anymore, but all your Death heroes like I was talking about the Death Incarnate ability, which, like I say, I'll get in more detail when I can read it properly from the screen, is a good way to regenerate models to most of your units in Death. Another thing which I noticed, and I don't know if this is a mistake because, like I say, it's a leak, so everything might not be as clear as it seems, but the White King with Standard Bearer to give you your models within 18 inches of him when he plants his banner a 6-up save if they suffer a wound that kills them, like I talk about in my Death Rattle video. That banner to give you essentially an extra 6-up death save for your skeleton units is no longer a thing. It might just be a leak because it's strange for them to get rid of it because it was a very useful thing for Death. But if they have got rid of it, that is that's a big shame because I modelled my own version of it, and if there's no point why he's got a banner, I mean, you know, it's nice that he's got a banner, but all that really means now is that he's easier to shoot from far away because you can see him better and more clearly. But like I said, that might not be everything that we've seen might not be it all. There might be, you know, something out. They haven't covered every Death Warscroll in this update, so they might be releasing more of them. So yeah, let's hope that he'll still be a thing because it'll be nice, cause especially for Death Rattle where they don't really have too much, so you shouldn't take too much away from them. But yeah, so that's the that's a quick little talk about the update. I just wanted to get a video out there just to get your guys' thoughts. Like I say, let me know if you would still like me to do unit discussions rather than just do lore videos. Like I say, lore videos is just a safe option. I mean, things I could maybe get away with is Flesh Eater Cults because they already have a battle tome. They're bound to be affected by this update, but maybe not too much. Maybe not. That's why I think Nighthorn hopefully aren't going to be affected too much by this update either. So I think that video's the one I did is still relevant. The only thing that isn't is the ethereal rule has changed. So it means that it's not that they just don't take in red anymore, their saves just can't be modified. But maybe there's probably things out there that modify your save apart from Ren, so you know, it might actually be good. It might be there's more things that modify your save in a bad way than in a good way, so it might have made the ability even better. I'm not too sure, because traditionally in a Nighthorn army you don't have any wizards anyway, so unless you obviously take an artifact which will make him, but like I say, traditionally you don't, so Mystic Shields and all that. You still got like cover saves and all that sort of thing from being in a forest and other terrain. But yeah, so sorry if I've rambled a lot in this video and just sort of gone off topic every now and again, but I just wanted to give you a bit of my thoughts on the update and to explain why there won't be a Soulblight video regarding units coming out anytime. Well, I say anytime soon, coming out before the battle tome. Like I say, if you guys really would want me to make a Soulblight video, I'd be happy to do it. It's just I might need to make another one shortly after as well, just to go over the changes. But so we talked about the Knight of Shroud. He's a nice guy. Not personally, because I don't know him, but his rules models are. And because he's probably not going to be an expensive model, I mean, a 2-man chief 80 points, a Calm Wraith is 60 points. This guy, probably I'm thinking 100 points is a fair price. So yeah, so that's good. It's not all doom and gloom, there are some good things. Definitely. It's just going to take time to get used to them, and like I say, when I can read the Warscrolls a bit better, I will definitely do a more in-depth video of the changes, just to keep you guys up to date, really, because I don't want to give out old information and stuff and not update it. I think that would be wrong. So, like I say, if you've enjoyed this sort of less formal video, shall we say, just more of a sort of discussion on the hot topic at the moment, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And if you leave a comment, let me know what you would like me to do with the channel until the battle tome comes out, what sort of videos you want to see. Like I say, lore videos should be safe, but if you really want to see specific unit videos or something, or maybe just about one certain unit, like I don't know, like a Terrorgeist or something like that, you know, you just want a really in-depth video on that, just let me know and I'll certainly think about it and get to it. So like I say, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe and put it in the comments. And until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.